Good morning. Welcome back. Today, I think what we'll do is a intro for those of you that are new to electric cars, or maybe you're thinking about an electric car and you don't know much about charging. I thought I would just do an overview of the state of types of charging in the U.S. right now. Things are liable to change, so I'm going to jump right into it here. So I've got two cars here that we're going to be looking at today. One's a plug-in hybrid and one's an EV. And they have different kinds of charging cable ports. So let's start with the plug-in hybrid. So in the US or any place, there's two types of charging. There's AC charging, which is what you can do at home or at some locations. And then there's fast charging, which is DC. And DC charging is faster because it can pump more energy into your car, because alternating current is what you have in your house, but batteries use direct current. So the car or something has to convert that AC current into DC to charge up the battery. And if you got a small amount coming in, like from a outlet in your house, the car has a capability to do that. But if you're going to put in a lot of energy all at once, that requires an expensive, giant, heavy device, which is why we have fast charge stations now popping up all over the place. And a lot of retailers are putting them in. You know, there's the huge Tesla network across the U.S. There's other large networks are Electrify America and EVgo. And then there's a bunch of other ones. There's some that are coming up. Iona is adding lots of stations. Some of the major retailers, Walmart has had some for a while, and now they're starting to do their own charging stations. Same thing with Costco. They're starting to put in chargers at their larger stores that have the more volume. We're starting to see fast chargers with like convenience stores. So you've got like you did with the gas station model, where you've got gas pumps, and then you go inside and buy your drink or your snack or whatever, which is where the company actually makes most of their money. Well, with an EV, you're charging for 20 minutes or more probably, so it's a good way to get a captive audience. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we'll start with the plug-in hybrids. A plug-in hybrid is a car that has a relatively small battery, so it has an electric-only range of 20, 30, 40 miles or more. This is an older Nero. It has a range of about 26 miles on electric only, and then it has a gas engine, and it runs like a standard hybrid after the drive battery is depleted. This one has a charge connector that's called J1772. And this was a very standard size connection, especially for level 1 or level 2 charging, which are both AC charging in the US up until recently, when everything has started to switch over to NACS. But we'll talk about NACS in a minute. So the J1772 connector, this is a level 1 charger that came with the car. And that's the level 1 J1772. It plugs right in there, and then it plugs into your standard house outlet. A level 2 charger can have a J1772 connector, like the one that we have here. This charge point connector has a J1772, so this can plug directly into the Nero. And the advantage of this is to 20 volt, whereas the level 1 that uses the 3-prong outlet in your house is 110 volt. So this one charges a lot faster. So basically, for the plug-in hybrid, level 1, you're looking at recharge overnight. Level 2, you're recharge in a couple hours. And it's all J1772. Well, there's another sheriff in town, and that's the NACS connector, which started out as the Tesla connector, and sometimes people still call it a Tesla connector. But Tesla made the connection public domain, so that they've now got it as NACS. And so what could happen with this Nero then is, if I'm at a place that has a level 2 NACS charger, which might be like at a hotel hotels, what Tesla called destination chargers, level 2 chargers. Hotel's a good place for them because you're going to be parking your car there overnight anyway. You might as well go ahead and recharge your car. Well, you can get an adapter like this one, which will take, I can plug the NACS into this, and then this is a J1772 on this side, and it plugs directly into the car. So I know of a casino in our area, for example, that has both types of chargers. If all the J1772 ones are taken, I can pull up to this and use the NACS connector. But so that's the way that works then for this car. Now, this is a plug-in hybrid. It doesn't need a DC fast charge because it doesn't have a very big battery, and it doesn't take that long to charge the battery anyway. But so it can't use a DC fast charger. But an EV like this one does. So an EV has no gas motor, and it has a much larger battery. And so at level 1, it would take a long time to charge. It would take days. So typically what you do with the level 1 charger with an EV is, if you have to go with level 1, you would leave it plugged in all the time, and you'd try to gain enough energy so you wouldn't run out of power during the week. But this particular one comes with a NACS connector built in. So for level 1 and level 2, I can use NACS directly. And again, just like with the other one, so it uses a connector, an adapter. And so we can plug in. I had a little problem with the phone with the camera there. So we can plug a J1772 this, and it'll plug into NACS. You can buy an adapter for that. And in fact, since we have 2 cars, one with each type of adapter, one J1772 and one NACS, one car or the other is always going to have to use an adapter to charge at home. Eventually, if we end up with 2 NACS cars, then I would either get a different charger, or ChargePoint sells a kit that you can convert. It has a different cable and a different mount, and you can swap those out, and neither car would have to use an adapter. So then at fast chargers, then the DC fast chargers, which this car can use, it has the NACS adapter, which means it can directly charge from Tesla chargers. And if I'm going to use something else, like that isn't NACS yet, like say, go to a Electrify America, or a EVgo or something like that, some site that has the CCS adapter. And the CCS adapter is bigger, clunkier. Basically, it's the J1772, but it has 2 extra pins for the DC, and that's the CCS connector. So the handle is bigger and heavier when you see it, to know that that's what you've got. And so again, there is, guess what, an adapter. This is a CCS to NACS adapter. And that would let me charge, and I've done it before. I can charge at a CCS station with this car using this adapter. They also, of course, sell NACS to CCS adapters if you have an older car that has the CCS plug, and you want to charge at a Tesla charger, which are open to other non-Tesla cars now. 2 other things I was going to mention here. Well, for level 2 charging then at home for this car, basically you're looking at overnight to recharge if you're going to full charge. If I drive to town and back and I want to top it back up to, I usually keep it at 80%. I want to top it up to 80%. It just takes a few hours, a couple hours to do that. But you can get a full charge overnight at level 2. So I have 2 other devices here. This is a combination level 1 and level 2 charger station, which is portable. And we can take this along with us if we're going on a road trip or going camping. if we go to a campsite or if we go to a friend's house or something like that, we can either charge level 1 or level 2 depending on what kind of outlet we can get our hands on. And this one happens to have the NACS, so it'll plug directly into this car. But they also have them, of course, for the J1772 as well. So that's a nice thing to have in the car, is a portable charger. And the other thing this car has is a vehicle to load connection. And this plugs into the NACS outlet on the car, and it's got an AC 3-prong outlet. So you can run AC appliances directly off of the car. And that's called vehicle to load. There's another thing called vehicle to grid, which lets you run your vehicle directly to the house and the grid. And power can go back and forth depending on what's needed. I don't have that, so I've just got vehicle to load. Vehicle to load is handy if you're traveling. It's handy for contractors that are out, working at a remote job site. That's why the big electric pickups, have a lot of vehicle to load outlets, because you can run your saws and your various pieces of equipment that you've got directly off of your car if you need to. So that's called vehicle to load, and I've got that. And I think that's about it. That's about everything that I wanted to talk about here today. So that's the way, the status of what's going on in the U.S. today is there's basically two types of ports. There's the NACS, which is also called Tesla, and then there's the J1772/CCS. And regardless of which kind you have in your car, you can buy the appropriate adapter to let you use the other ones, so that you can have more flexibility when you're charging at home or charging, doing either level 2 or DC fast charging on the road. And that's where we are today. Eventually, I think everything is going over to NACS, so eventually all the cars that they sell will have the NACS built in. But the CCS J1772 is going to be around for a long time, because there's lots of cars on the road today that have that as an option. A lot of all the non-Tesla cars that were sold before the last year or so, for example. There is one other type of connection. It's called CHAdeMO, but it's pretty much gone in the U.S. If you want to buy a really old car that has CHAdeMO, you can buy an adapter for it as well, but you're not going to see that mostly when you're buying a newer used EV or plug-in hybrid. Okay, that's it. And talk to you later. Bye.